We truly do not have any representations of people of color that can show the history of who we are, where we come from, and why our Nubian art is so effective. Unfortunately, you have people from various European arts, or Japanese or Chinese or Korean or any other Asian group art that may have came up with a form of art that they call African, but it's not actually African art, because their foundation and their formation actually comes from Asian. So, excuse me, asthma, sinus, So the situation is, you don't have the truth being acknowledged or represented right. You have quite a few very profound artists who have performed in front of stage and tournaments for years, and they're very talented at what they do. Yet they haven't really presented the fighting arts from the motherland accurately enough that makes me feel comfortable. Now, I developed a system called Lung Su. Lung means long, constantly flowing, always improving, always getting better. And it also represents what you would call dragon from the Chinese name. And then lungs, like your lungs are constantly improving. That's what it's supposed to be. It's breathing all the time, things of that nature. Su was a chop off from Kung Fu, so I said Lung Su, and I made it like that, and it means firm, hard, unbeatable, unstoppable. I'm speaking of Su, so Lung Su. Now, I developed this art over 30 years ago because I wanted to have a practical way of utilizing art. Now, everybody knows that there's nothing new under the sun. Somebody created something, somebody made up art, somebody did something of that nature. Well, I'm no different. And I made up an art as well. And my art is called Lung Su Matoo Fighting Arts. Matoo means new foundation. And fighting arts is self-explanatory. So when I made this art up and I started developing it and utilizing it, I did it because I wanted to show a profound effect on how to be able to demonstrate and execute a self-defense that was very simplistic, without proof of any much effort, at the same time execute and dominate the opponent completely. And I've succeeded. Now, a lot of people haven't seen me in action because I usually don't make a video of myself doing that, because it's very difficult to do all by yourself. And you have a hard time in an environment that constantly commit to trying to derail what you're about. But nevertheless, here I am. I'm telling you now. I'm 51 years old. I stand between 5'11", 5 feet. I weigh 200 and maybe 9 or 10 pounds because I've been losing, getting back in shape. And I'm working very hard to promote my art before I leave this planet. I want to show it, and I want to prove it, and it's a African, for lack of a better word, which I would use, Nubian art that comes from the motherland, through my ancestry and my way of thinking. Not from the Asian, not from the Western. Regardless of what I pulled in from them, it is still my art, my foundation, and what I'm representing. I have to say all this because you're going to have a lot of hypocrites and critical people who are making statements saying, well, you're not legit, you're not this and that. And it's not really relevant, but I'm bringing it up for those who need to hear this so they can understand it's important to have your own. And if you have art that works, that's all that matters. Now, we as people of color have not been promoted or represented at all in the community when it comes to the fighting arts, self-defense, and being promoted under our own banner. We have always been in a banner where we have to represent somebody else or give praises. I was very disappointed when Michael Jai White promoted Ed Parker, not Ed Parker, but it was a Caucasian guy. I don't even remember his name, and to be honest with you, I don't really care. But it was very insulting that he was more promoting that guy, saying that was the idol and motivating him to be who he is. That irritated me. Because if every man of color look at a Caucasian man as an idol, when we live in a society that has been dominant by them, oppressing us, that just doesn't look good for the world. At least not for me. I really respect Bruce Lee as a mentor and what he did, but I also acknowledge that Bruce Lee got most of his art from people of color, watching the way they move, watching the way they carried themselves, and watching the way they fought. Now, people will lie left and right saying it ain't true. I'm not going to do comparisons. I'm not going to do all this fancy technology proving it. You do your own research and find out for yourself if you're truly a warrior or a warrioress. My point that I'm making is people of color have contributed many forms of attributes toward the fighting arts, whether it be boxing, mixed martial arts, or whatever sport that come up. They have always been there to dominate the sport, but they get little to no acknowledgement. And then when they are acknowledged, they utilize names that comes from European identity. John Weaver, John Smith, John Williams, whatever you want to call yourself, is not your original name. And if you're using these names to be acknowledged, then you don't have an identity. And if you don't have an identity, whether it's Muhammad or Abdul, it's still a slave name because they had our people in slavery as well. So the situation I'm saying is, if you cannot even identify yourself with a name that comes from the motherland, with a name that represents who you are, and the history and the lessons that go with it to promote a fighting arts, then what are you really promoting? So this is my take on the fighting arts. I've been a practitioner of the fighting arts for over 35 years. I've been an expert for over 30 years. I've been a master for over 25 years. I've been a grandmaster for over, 10 years, 20 years. So the point is, being a grandmaster means that you have founded your art, you have developed the art, you have made the art up, and it's effective. Being a master means that you have mastered the art that you do and it's very effective. Being an expert means you basically get paid to do it, or professional or expert, same thing. But the meanings aside, put aside, it's what you show. I have yet had center stage to be able to promote the African fighting arts and show the intensity of it. I'll be honored if I get invited to perform and show this. And that's all I can say. So I guess I better start getting back to the motherland and doing it that way, because that's about the only avenue I have until Asia acknowledged me and start asking me to come. But I have noticed a lot of Asian warriors have been showing arts of fighting art skills that comes from the motherland, even in their wear, even in their mix, their hip hop and their movement. All that is descended from the motherland. But I'm not going to debate with you about that. It's up to you to find out. So with that, I'm going to do series of different forms of self-defense, put them together, and show how it's done. If I get lucky, I will get the right students who will demonstrate with me, and I demonstrate how to do the fighting arts with them. So look out for me, promote me if you can, and reach out to support what I'm doing. Peace and blessings.